Ah, fala galera, papi. Fala galera. Ah, obrigado. Much love. Big shout out to Cosmos. Big fan, big fan. I love him. He's beautiful. But here we go. Oh my god, we're going for a 12 pool. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Solaris, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Onside. Not making a single drone, going for a 12 pool. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing himself. He is still currently teamless. It is DRG. Here we go. Can we have some aggression coming out from Solar, even sending out a drone as well? Oh my god, okay, we're going for a spine crawler here alongside the 12 pool, so very aggressive style here from Solar. Meanwhile, DRG going for a hatch gas pool, standard opener. For the time being, DRG is none the wiser. For those wondering, 12 pools are not typically all-ins. They're a way to get ahead economically. They're a way to get a kill on the natural base, ideally. I mean, ideally they trade with workers. You kill enough workers to get ahead economically, but with the addition of this spine crawler, we may even get a kill on the hatchery, which would be game. Would be insane if Solar were to pull that off. Here we go. The Lings are moving out. Oh, drone has been spotted. DRG, he does check the low ground here. He does come across that drone. The Lings are revealed as well by this Overlord. DRG fully aware of what's going on. Spine crawler's on the way, but this should not finish. It shouldn't be able to get up and running as Lings are on the way. Yeah, and drones are being pulled. So DRG should be forced to cancel on this spine crawler. Solar, meanwhile, his Lings, they go straight for the natural. Okay, we do force that cancel. Behind this Solar, he's, of course, throwing down his expansion. And DRG's goal here is to save his base. But we could throw down another spine. Oof. So far, good drone drilling here from DRG. Does preserve his workers. Making use of the mineral patches. Up! But that hatchery is taking a lot of hits. It is sustaining a lot of damage. And again, we cannot afford to lose that base. Lings, they have arrived. We do drone drill forward. And DRG, he's going for the defense. He's going to be losing some drones. But he does hold. DRG, he does hold on. Only losing 2 workers, and he does save his natural base. Behind this, Solar, he's down 2 workers. That was not enough damage to actually make it worth his while. He does have extra Lings, though. He could threaten a dive, but we have a second queen here on the low ground. DRG, he should be able to defend. Ooh, and as the dust settles, DRG, he's ahead in gas. Again, ahead in gas economy. He's ahead in workers. Has 2 queens. He's sitting pretty. And Solar, he has some catching up to do. Now, typically, off of a 12 full, whether it succeeds or fails, we should be getting into 2-base Roach. Again, there's no gases here from Solar, so typically we skip Ling Speed, we skip Banelings, we go for a Roach Warren and Evo Chamber, we wall off on 2 bases, and we just skip the Ling Bane portion of the game. But this is going to be an uphill battle from Solar. Now, there is a lot he can do. There is a lot he can do on 2 bases as he now takes his gas. It doesn't have to be 2-base Roach. He can try to hide a Spire and make it look like he's going 2-base Roach instead. Meanwhile, DRG going straight for a lair. Oh my god. I love this. So, DRG, typically, if you're a defending Zerg player, if you defend against a 12 pool, you know that Ling Speed is unlikely. You know that 2-base Roach is on the horizon. And you know that Solar is going to be defensive, so you take advantage of that. You skip Ling Speed, you skip the Baneling Nest, you go straight into your own lair, straight into your gases, and you race your opponent into Roach play. And you exceed them. Like, because DRG is ahead economically, he's playing Solar's game, but 1 step ahead. He's already got +1 range on the way, he's already got the lair, which means when the Roach Warren finishes, he can go straight into Roach speed as well. So at this stage, DRG is strictly ahead. Solar, this is why I said that he could try to go in a different direction, but the Lings are getting in. The slow Lings, they bust into the bases here. Very important here to scout his opponent. He confirms the timing of the lair, the lack of gases. He knows that there isn't a Muta Rush. There is no Spire. Solar, he delayed his lair here in favor of +1, and of course, getting into everything else, and DRG should be feeling pretty safe. He's getting into his own roaches. He's going to be cutting workers, or I should say, getting up to 2-base saturation, and DRG should be going for his own big 2-base roach push. Solo's taking a third. DRG slightly behind him in his own third base, but I don't think he cares too much. He's done droning. It's all about roaches. All about making roaches here for DRG. And Solar still getting into his lair, still getting into his gases. Overlord does go down. And this timing is going to be strong. Now, DRG, he isn't pushing yet. He's waiting for a +1 and roach speed. These upgrades are lined up, and again, this is going to hit like a truck. And Solar has to be careful not to drone. He does have a slightly faster third base, but if he makes workers from here, he will die. He needs to focus on nothing but roaches. Solar, he may even need a spine crawler. I'm not too sure if Solar is aware of how far behind he is and how far ahead DRG is with his own roach push. Even with spine crawlers, it's going to be a tough defense. Here we go. We are pushing. Look at the units tab. DRG, he's up 8 roaches compared to his opponent. But Solar does have the defender's advantage. He does have roaches on the way. Solar, he's going to be down in upgrades. As +1 is done for DRG, and he can dive right on top of this army. And he just goes right for it. Queens are arriving. We need transfuse. We're transfusing whatever we can, trying to keep these roaches alive. And with the help of the defender's advantage and with these queens, can we hold? We do. We do force back DRG. Solar, he does hold, and now DRG's in a really awkward position. This timing was designed to break Solar, and now DRG, he's behind in the economy. Solar is catching up in upgrades. +1 is done. Solar, he took a better trade with his queens with his transfuse. The armies are pretty comparable, and the game is evening up. Now, what's important to take note of is that that wasn't the only timing that DRG had. There's the +1 timing, which he just hit, and he wasn't able to kill his opponent. And then we have the +2 timing. It's going to be +2 with carapace as well. Bearing in mind that Solar only has 1 Evo chamber, so DRG has another window where he will be up in upgrades, where he can hit a timing. And it's going to be on Solar to survive that one as well. On top of that, Solar, he's actually droned up quite heavily. He is fully saturated on 3 bases. DRG, he is cutting workers. DRG drones up to 50. He may not at his natural. He is faking his drone. Oh my god. He's making it look like he's saturating, but he's going all in. A 2-base all in from DRG. He's just hammering nothing but roaches. Hammering down that R key. Going to be hitting an all in with this 2-1 upgrade. No drones whatsoever. It's all or nothing for DRG. And Solar, he's been droning, getting a 4th base. He's macroing. He doesn't know. He is in the dark. Ay. And here we go. DRG is looking to pull the trigger. Looking at the unit tab. DRG, he's up over 10 roaches. 38 roaches to the 24 of Solar. DRG does get supply blocked. A big moment, actually. Heavily supply blocked. 4 overlords are on the way. DRG, we gotta go. Time is working against him. The upgrades are done. And we need to push him. We need to break Solar here and now. DRG, he is pushing in, but Solar has the defender's advantage. He has reinforcements on the way. Files are being dodged. DRG, he's breaking through. He's barely breaking through the army. We probably should pull the boys at this point. We can afford to lose some workers. As DRG, he's slowly running out of steam. He's breaking through the Ravagers, though. Yeah, DRG, he will take this fight. Busting into the natural, but we have more reinforcements on the way. Can Solar barely hold on? It looks like he can't. He cannot hold. A GG gets called. DRG does pull off the 2-base all-in. Gee, but that was close. GG. Solar, he was almost holding. Even if Solar did pull the boys, I don't know if he would have held, but that is something that he could have afforded to. Again, Solar, he was up like 20 workers compared to his opponent. GG, well played. DRG catching Solar with his pants down, catching him off guard. Again, Solar, he was getting ready for a longer game. He was happily saturating his 3rd, getting a 4th. Little did he know that DRG was completely all in. And he does take game 1. Does take game number 1. And now we're getting to game Number 2. Vámonos, Bobby. DRG again up in this series, but it's a best of 3. We can come back. We can force the ace match. Oh, hello, Chowdan. Hello. It's lunch break time. Let's go. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you. As we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg. Currently teamless, but up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. It is DRG. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Team On side. Looking to fight back, looking to tie this up. It is Solar. Oh boy. And again, it was on Solar last game where, winding it back, he did go for a 12 pull and he failed to do enough damage. He failed to make the 12 pull worth it. He fell behind and DRG was able to get far ahead here, just going for that +1 timing. He wasn't able to kill Solar with that first push, but the second push really sealed the deal. I mean, I say a push. It wasn't all in, to be fair. And Solar was lacking that crucial scouting information, wasn't able to confirm the lack of saturation at the natural. And yeah, we'll see if Solar is able to recover from that. He's able to keep up, as this time, hatch gas pool. Standard opener. Standard opener out of Solar. Likewise, standard opener out of DRG as well. We're calming things down. We are calming things down here in game 2. And we'll see what kind of direction we go in. Now, because the openers look normal, we should be getting into a third base on time. We should be getting into Banelings and into Ling Bane aggression. We'll see if either one of our players decide to wall off on 2 bases. Last game, Solar did that, but that's just because he 12 pulled, and that's typically the correct transition from a 12 pull is to go 2 base Roach. So Solar was kind of forced into that. Meanwhile, here in game 2, again, we can kind of spread our wings and go for something more economic. As for now, drones are on the way. Just saturating our bases, getting our Lings, soon to move out and scout across the map. This time, Ling speed is on the way. If you remember, last game, both players did skip it. We didn't need Lings at all. It was all about the Roach v Roach. But again, this time, there is more potential for some Ling Bane aggression, which I'm all for. I'm all about the Ling Bane. As both players will be taking their third bases. Both players going for the forward third, actually. Leaving that linear third for later on. With this, you can be a little bit more aggressive. You can start spreading your creeper across the map. Be more in the face of your opponents. Lings of Solar to arrive. Likewise, DRG sending his own Lings across the map as well. Just confirming each other, scouting each other. Bailey Nestor on the way. And again, this time we will see some more Ling Bane action before we get into Roaches. If at all. As Lings are just going to be poking and prodding, nothing too major yet. Just making sure that the third base is real. Making sure that it's, actually getting up and running. Ling speed is on the way, and DRG is making an extra wave of Lings, actually. DRG looking to be a little bit more aggressive. Thankfully, Solar didn't skip his Bailiness, so Bailing should soon be on the way. There we go, 1 safety Bailing, just to make sure that we are secure. And DRG, he rushes into a Roach Warren hidden behind the mineral line. Hello. DRG gonna be the aggressor here. Getting into a very fast Roach Warren, again hidden behind the army, or behind the bases. Likewise, Solar not too far behind with his own, is a little bit later, as a part of the wall. DRG, once again, going to be main-arting over. It looks like DRG, I don't think he really intends to drone, making it look like he's saturating his third, when really, he hasn't even saturated his natural. Lings and Roach is going to be on the way. Lings do get in. We do try to get... Oh no, the positioning! Ay, ay, ay. We just see Solar threatening that third base. He's here with Bailings. The Queen gets surrounded. The Bailings, they get in! No! The Bailings, they will deny mining here at the third base. The Lings will go down as well. Good trades from Solar. 3 drones go down, and this is brutal just because DRG's all in. He already has a limited economy. Losing any drones from here is brutal. And the Roaches have been scouted. They have been spotted. Solar, he's aware of the push coming. He's getting ready back at home. Roaches are on the way. Solar taking more defensive position. He's getting ready for another counterattack, though. And again, DRG actually now droning. He's backing off. We have 5 workers on the way. DRG, he's abandoned his idea, his plan of going for an all-in. And I do feel like a big reason for this is because he lost workers. Because DRG lost so many drones, he knows that he can't actually afford to maintain this all-in. And he's droning. He is going to be droning. Things were really chaotic for a moment. And the Lings, they do get into the natural base. They try to get us around. Roaches will shut them down, though. The Queen survives. And Solar, he dips in, once again, focusing on whatever drones he can. He also confirms that droning is occurring. He's aware. And fun fact, Solar, he hasn't droned in quite some time. He's cutting workers at 40. He has... The all-ins continue. Solar has cut workers at 40, and we're sending everything across the map. The turns have tabled. The Roach army has arrived. We're pushing towards that third base. At the same time, Lings into the natural. Solar, he is committed. He is all in. And it looks like Solar, he has an overwhelming Roach army. DRG just doesn't have enough Lings. They bust into the main base. They're distracting Roaches. They're keeping the army, the reinforcements of DRG busy. And it's just too much. Solar, he snowballs out of control. Takes down the Roaches, takes down the Queen. GG gets called, and Solar ties up the series 1-1. No one likes droning here. It's GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. It was game 1, of course, where DRG cut workers and he just committed to the all-in. Here in game 2, it looked like DRG wanted to be the aggressor initially, and I do stand by that. Then, after a while, he pulled back, he started to saturate himself, and Solar became the aggressor instead. Really, what we're learning here, I mean, it's a rule of ZvZ. You drone, sometimes you die. In this series, it is always you die. It's oh my god. But Solar and DRG being so aggressive this series, and how will things end? As up next is the final game. It's a best of 3. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to side Delta. Who is going to be the first to drone? Who's going to be the first to just commit and just send it across the map? Let's go. Here we go. First. Hello, Aistan. Bienvenidos, Aistan. Bienvenidos. First, Copium. Hey, you're a couple of hours late. Aistan. But here we go. We're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg, being forced into the ace match. It is DRG. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Team Onside. It is Solar. Taking that last game and forcing the ace match. Here we go. Again, to be fair, in that last game, we saw more of a standard game, at least initially. You know, we went hatch gas pool into a third base, into a Bailey nest, into some slight Ling Bane aggression, but it was after that. It was when it came to saturating the third. Well, neither player wanted to saturate that third base, and we just doubled down on aggression. Are we going to get into the mid game? We haven't really seen a proper back and forth mid game here. We haven't seen both players saturate their thirds yet in this series. Will they finally do it here on side Delta? Probably not. Probably not. Probably just going to double down anyway and just end it in 5 minutes, but I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Show us what you got. For now, hatch gas pool. Hatchery into the gas geyser, into the spawning pool. Standard opener from Solar and standard opener from DRG as well. Everything is looking normal for the time being. Everything is looking sane. Oh, we're calming things down. Just a little bit at least. And from here, we're going to be determining how aggressive and how defensive our players want to be. We're on side Delta. This is a good map to go 2-base Roach, or 2-base play in general. This is one of the few maps where there's a ramp coming into the natural. This is a rarity in the new map pool. This used to be more of a standard feature, but in the new map pool, it's only side Delta and Radisson Station that have a ramp, which means you have the high ground, this point of elevation, this defender's advantage, or even a boosted defender's advantage as a result. Which is why we've seen quite a lot of 2-base play on side Delta, not just in this matchup, but in other matchups as well. So that is something to bear in mind. It's something that we could try and do. But for now, Solar, he's going for his third, and DRG should be doing the same. There we go. Drones are moving out, third bases are being taken. So again, so far everything is looking as it should. Hatch gas pool into a third. We should be seeing some Bailey nests momentarily as well. That is, Bailey nests are on the way. Solo going to be applying some pressure here at the third, but just going to be nibbling away at the hatchery. Not really looking to overcommit. Is going to back off, and Solar should be throwing down his own Bailey nest soon. As it is going to be held off for a little bit here. Curious. As Lings have arrived, again, DRG doubling down. Both players actually doubling down on Ling aggression. We do see Solar, he's cutting corners. He is skipping the Bailey nest. Bold move. Bold move here from Solar. He's skipping Bailey's, going straight into Roaches instead. It's going to be Ling Bane from DRG and just pure Ling from Solar. As he's going to be racing across the map. And it means that if Solar takes a bad trade, if he takes a Bailey to the face, then that is going to trigger a counterattack. And DRG, he should be able to shut down this third. I am concerned. I'm concerned for Solar, but here we go. The Lings have arrived. Bailings are done, and we do need some good connections. The hatchery taking a lot of damage. Hatchery does take a lot of hits. Solar puffing up his chest. DRG, he's droning. He doesn't know. And Solar, he goes straight for the third base, going straight for the hatchery, and he will get a kill. Oh my god. The third base goes down. And DRG was droning. He wasn't making any army units, so he isn't going for a counterattack, which means Solar, he has gotten away with skipping his Bailey nest. Roaches are on the way. Lings it into the main, just getting a scout. DRG now going for his Roach Horn. He is behind when it comes to tech. He's behind when it comes to economy. DRG, he may be up in workers, but again, he can't make use of that third base. And here comes Solar, going for the 1-2 punch. He got a kill on the third, and now he's coming in with the Roaches. And there's no answer. Roach production just now commencing here for DRG. We get on top of the third again. The third is going to get surrounded. Roaches rock up as well. And this third base is going to be cancelled for a second time. Well, first killed, second cancelled. No! Oh my god. We do get the cancel just in time. The Roach push is still upon us. The Bailings! Looking for some connections. Do get us around. A couple of Roaches do get picked off. As I say that, they survive. Not like this. Good control here out of Solar. Morphing in those Ravagers. Keeping those Roaches alive. And he comes in to reinforce. He's looking for surround. And he does get on top of these Roaches. A clutch transfuse. DRG, he's barely holding on. He has a Spine Crawler, has the Queens. But he's still down a base. Solar behind this. He can drone. He's chilling. He's making workers. We have a lair on the way. He's coming back in. Oh my god. Solar, he has no chill. Comes back in, gets another Roach before retreating. And again, Solar, he is far ahead here in the economy. Maybe a little bit too far ahead. I think it's okay to cut workers here and just make Roaches, but it's okay because DRG is droning. I was concerned that this was going to force an all-in. I was concerned that DRG was just going to double down, make Roaches, and just send it across the map. And maybe Solar would be caught droning, but no, DRG, he's also making workers. Which means Solar, he is strictly ahead. There is no all-in coming, and there's no punishment here for Solar. He's taking his gases, +1 ranges on the way. Lair's about to finish up for Roach speed. Solar, he's looking solid here in the ace match. And DRG still on 2 bases, still doesn't have a third. Now, is there a way to come back in this game? There is. These Banelings. Essentially, oh no, he's gonna get caught out. Solar, he's moving out, he's fanning out his units. DRG, he needs to somehow cripple the economy of Solar, and this Baneling Waddle Buy has potential. Whether it's a Baneling Waddle Buy or a Ling Run Buy into the natural, he needs to somehow kill some workers. He needs to deal some economic damage. Otherwise, DRG is just strictly behind. Whether it's Baneling Run Buys, Ling Run Buys, Drop a Lord play, maybe even taking into a Spire and going into Mutas. The Ling does confirm the positioning of the main army. DRG knows. He hasn't pulled the trigger yet. Solar's pushing, and again, he's done droning. He's droned up to 58. Just under 3-way saturation, and he's pushing across the map. Even if these Banelings kill workers, it doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the Roach Ravager. It's all about the army. We don't even have full saturation. Banelings, they waddle in. They will connect. 6 workers go down. A good amount of damage. What about the Roaches? As Solar, he has almost double the Roach count here of DRG. We're pushing in. And Solar's looking to just overwhelm Dongregyu. He has a wall of Roaches. He has a couple of Queens to transfuse as well, but it just isn't enough. The Spine doesn't burrow. Even with the Spine, it wouldn't have been enough. GG gets called, and Solar will take the series 2-1, eliminating DRG. GG. GG, well played. Solar will take it again. Went for a really risky maneuver in this game. Remember, winding it back, Solar, he skipped the Baneling Nest. He completely skipped the Baneling Nest. He went for Ling aggression to try to keep DRG pinned back at home. And I mentioned at the time, if Solar were to take a Baneling to the face, if he lost too much, if he triggered a counterattack, Solar would have been in a lot of trouble. But DRG, he wasn't really looking to be aggressive or do any counter damage. He was making enough Ling Bane to defend and droning behind it. And even in that defense, he didn't have enough to save his hatchery. The hatchery went down and there wasn't a counterattack. Like DRG, he was droning. He was stuck at home, and Solar, he got away with so much. GG. GG, well played. My condolences to DRG, as this is going to be his end here in GSL. This is where he meets his end. That is DRG being eliminated from this season's GSL, and Solar does advance forward into our final series of the night. One final best of 3. I'm gonna need a moment to set this up. Going to need a moment here, but it is going to be a ZvT between Solar and Cure. Our final series of the night, the decider match of this group.